Hello, this is Mark Inman, producer for the Imaginarium on Planet of the Apes Last Frontier. Today's stream is going to be Batman Telltale story. Obviously with everything that's gone on in the last week with Telltale, while I'd planned to do a stream of one of their games further down the line, I thought that it was appropriate to move this forward, talk about what Telltale contributed to the adventure genre, and also obviously the impact they had on how we designed Planet of the Apes, and also to really talk about sort of what's happened with Telltale, and just give some sort of insight from someone who's been made redundant several times within the industry as to sort of the sort of what's happened and what's been reported and sort of why these things can happen. But I'll leave that towards the end of the video. For now, I'm gonna mainly leave the game sort of being played without sort of narrating over the top of it. But initially I did want to say a bunch of things about sort of what Telltale have contributed, and again, as we go along through the early stages of the video, talk about sort of some of the things that they've done that we tried to do differently. So first of all, why are we playing Batman rather than something like The Walking Dead, that sort of thing? Well, for one thing, Batman's not one of the Telltale story games I've played. I also find the dark, introspective tone of a lot of the DC stuff sort of just a little bit sort of too bleak for its own good, basically. It doesn't really appeal.
Get it open. On it.
That's the sort of thing that rubs.
Hey, you think he's gonna show? He'll bring the whole goddamn place down.
Stay focused.
We'll be out of here before anyone can stop us.
I know a lot of people think that the overliked nature of the Marvel, certainly the cinematic universe stuff, is not sort of their cup of tea, but yeah, I just find this sort of constant black tone of the modern DC universe just a little bit. With that in mind, what Telltale do so well from a narrative perspective.
Wait for backup!
And the fact that
take the stairs.
They can take.
I heard stories, sent 3 home in an ambulance. The rest in body bags. No wonder the cops want him dead.
But they create such a compelling
Gotham
and
Zoo.
interesting
All the other
narrative that
flying
it can really drag you in. It's a testament to their storytelling ability that one of the. I mean, I played the original Walking Dead series first, but I had no familiarity with The Wolf Among Us, but I was intrigued enough by what they'd done with The Walking Dead that actually thoroughly enjoyed it, even though there were problems with the beta version. It was, absolutely loved the story. really gutting to know that it'll never sort of. The
Bruce, you can't keep doing this.
I have to.
But yeah,
No
so
one else will.
that's
Every drop
that's
of
the
blood,
thing with
everything
them.
you've
They
sacrificed.
just produce
The
such
city
great
is safer now.
stories.
It's made you a target.
And
people will keep you in the crosshairs
it's enough
until you're shot
you
out
know,
of the
even
sky.
when you look at these things, and
Criminals
they've all
in the
got a
city.
pretty similar mechanic.
They need something
You know,
to
that's no
fear.
different to the way a lot of adventures were before the Telltale got involved. You know, a lot of the point and click
hell'd he
was
go?
almost exactly the same.
Whatever got in, don't let it get out.
Tropes and mechanics. So you know, there was you know, they came up with a formula, and you know, it worked well for them. And you know, a lot of people have tried to copy it. So if you look at the likes of Life is Strange or Until Dawn, really the sort of the core of what they became started at a Telltale style title. You know, and they've gone off in various different directions. Similar with us, we decided, you know, to take a step back from the more sort of action and sort of movement based sort of style. I made a purely story with choices for conversations and some sort of single button action selections. But you know, at its heart, it's still more. It still follows a degree of that template of what Telltale came up with. And it's important to discuss that template because, you know, adventure games had pretty much stagnated up until that point. Telltale themselves were still making adventures, as I'm sure many people will know. They were making extensions to the whole Monkey Island brand, and you know, they didn't particularly land, and I don't know whether that was because of the style that they took with the way the game's played. I mean, for me, one of the things about those
I know you're trying to create a myth
about the Monkey
But be
Island
careful
adventures
you
was
don't
it
turn
kind of
into a
took me
monster.
out of the
Sometimes.
experience I had when I played it
Come on!
for the first time, because the voice of Guybrush and LeChuck was in my head. So when someone new comes along and it adds a voice to that character, it's never the voice that you expect it to be. So it's never the experience that you had. So you know, that kind of undermines, you know, what potentially were good adventures, but you know, it just felt wrong from that point of view. But aside from that, the adventure genre itself was fairly stale. Even when I joined Psygnosis in '93, the style of game hadn't really moved on from the original LucasArts titles. We were producing things like Innocent Till Core and other sort of adventures. I think there was one terrible sort of Western style one called, it's either Silver World or Silver Load or something like that. And you know, they all followed the same pattern, they all followed the same, they all had the same layout, they didn't do anything particularly unusual.
Didn't your mother teach you?
And that's how it was for sort of adventure games
Behind you, big
at
boy.
that time. You know, nothing seemed to really break out. I mean, the first real move forward was when sort of Discworld came along and they had voiceover, you know, which did actually add something. You know, immediately you had an identity for those characters. You know, you weren't just inventing it in your head. So, you know, that sort of narrative, that sort of audible narrative was there already.
Stay where you are.
You know, and it's kind of, if you look at Batman, they've kind of gone for that same sort of gravelly, sort of
Be intimidating, you're succeeding.
low-key
Criminals are becoming afraid of you.
voiceover for
So are the police.
It's a
for
scare
Batman.
tactic, Al. Just a performance.
You know, as basically everybody's played him in recent times. But what you can see, what Telltale have done, what they've always done, and what they've always been very good at, is they've meshed together the cinematic, the comic book, and also the very, very strong narrative. You know, some of the dialogue's a bit hack, but you know, generally there's enough really good stuff going on in that story that you can ignore the odd chonky line, or you know, the odd sort of bit of cliche dialogue, for the fact that, you know, they write good stories and they get the arc of both the characters and the overall story right, and you know, that kind of shaped everything going forward, you know, along with the simplification of the sort of the style of play. You know, I go back now, and I've recently played Thimbleweed Park, and I really struggle with the sort of classic style click adventure. It just feels quite dated now as a style. You know, the method of travelling between locations feels needlessly sort of prolonged, you know. And I mean, that's a similar criticism that's been made with this style of game, where you know, and it's something that I've said on previous videos about, you walk from X to Y only to sort of like find the particular trigger point that moves the story forward, but you know, the difference between something like a point and click and the Telltale stuff is that they did strip a lot of that back. They did. Yes, there's still that walking around to trigger off a point, but they've, you know, done as much as they can. They've made it so that it's relevant, even if it feels a bit baggy. It's the reason to do it is relevant in most cases, and you know, when they sort of nail that whole sort of perfect storm of things in the original Walking Dead, it kind of opened up the whole sort of genre to lots of different sorts of people who felt there was still a place for adventures, but you know, maybe didn't think the amount of effort to do something like that wasn't justifying sort of what people would get out of it. So people have taken a different approach now with adventure games, and you know, if you look at the impact that Telltale have had, and the sort of the
why go to
ripple
all
effect,
that trouble for this?
Certainly, you know, I wouldn't be around talking about this and talking, you know,
can't be killed.
Comparing it to a game that I've worked on. Had Telltale never sort of done what they'd done. And also look at things like Firewatch, which was developed by a bunch of ex Telltale guys. You know, Firewatch is a stunning game in my opinion. One I had a great time playing through, and you know, that would never have happened had those guys never have had that experience working on the Telltale stuff. One of the other things that Telltale has done that sweet spot where, you know, people, you know, gamers in general, especially sort of gamers who start having families or, you know, responsibilities they don't particularly have the time to spare to sink into sort of 50+ hour titles, but nevertheless, you know, having an adventure which is either
Guess I was wrong about you
into
catching
being
me.
sort of 2.5 hours in length.
Not sure if it
or
was for
something
my
that's
sake
like
or yours.
a full length game in
Don't
2.5
struggle
hours
or you'll
like our
fall.
own.
Oh, but that's what you crave.
Because
The
again,
struggle.
certainly that was one of the things
I
we
know
wanted
men
to use
like
to
you.
differentiate ourselves from Telltale. Was while we looked at
bet.
chapterization of the game, we were much more keen to make it feel like a movie experience and wanted it to be movie length. So yeah, so that was one of the things there.
Step out of the shadows
They
and be
sort of
Bruce Wayne
stumbled across,
tonight.
as I say, either by
Oh, that's a much
sort of
harder fight.
where they found a sweet
Don't
spot
let
of
tombstones be
how
your
much
family
time
legacy.
people were sort of really either
Well then.
prepared to or had available to invest in
Time
playing
to save the city.
games for a sustained period of time. I'm going to leave you to watch some of the game being played now, and I'll come back at the end of the video. We'll talk more about
Thank you.
what happened
Thank you,
to
everyone.
Telltale,
A humble district attorney like myself is not
you know,
used to such a ringing
I'll
endorsement.
give you some
Even
ideas
one
of
who
the
cut
experiences
Gotham's
I've
crime
had
rate
with
in
regards
half.
to,
For too long,
that whole
this city
sort
has
of
burned with
the
corruption
redundancy
and greed
thing,
under
especially
Mayor
to
Hill's
human
authority.
names,
But I
because
promise you, a vote
it's
for
had to
Harvey
be
Dent
quite a lot.
is a
But
vote
for
to
now, I'll leave
finally
you
put
to,
your foot down.
watch the
Together,
game being played.
we can stamp out the fire and save our great city. If only Mr. Wayne, my campaign's largest backer, could have heard that applause, he would well, there he is. Fashionable and fashionably late as always. Say hi, Bruce.
Hi, Bruce.
Well, I tee him up and he knocks him down. That's how Mr. Wayne and I do business. Thank you again, everyone, for your unwavering support. Together, we will change Gotham. Mr. Wayne, thank you for opening your house to us. Now, I know this is the biggest mansion in Gotham, but I don't think you got lost on your way here. Where were you? I know you prefer the brooding billionaire angle, so the sooner we make nice with the donors, the sooner everyone will leave you alone.
Just working the night shift.
Yeah, well, then you're pulling a double. No one came here tonight to see me.
Some champagne.
They want to see the Bruce Wayne, am I right?
And I can see him just fine from here.
This shouldn't be painful. It's not a kidney stone. It's only a little FaceTime with potential donors. Your face, specifically, with a mouth that's saying, support Harvey Dent. We're the grease, they're the wheels. And they're rolling in enough cash and votes to help make Gotham a place for families again.
I'll do anything for Gotham. It's my home.
It's our home. This'll help you too, Bruce. Once I've turned this city around as mayor, you'll be a hero for funding my campaign. Now all I need is a decent slogan. I'm terrible at those. It always makes me sound like a used car salesman. Which, for the record, I have not been since before law school.
All right. How about, put a dent in crime?
Look at you. It's not half bad. I'm gonna use that. Bruce, I meant what I said. Together, you and me, we change Gotham. A city free from crime, where children can play in the streets again.
That's what I want too, Harvey, but you know how rough it is out there. We have to shake things up to make that happen.
Well, we can start with a few hands, Come on.
Pause.
Mr. Wayne, I'd like to introduce you to
Bob and Regina Zellerbach. Of course I know these two.
Hello, Bruce.
Regina here is the chairwoman of Wayne Enterprises, and her husband...
Voted for Mayor Hill last time. I'll admit it, Mr. Wayne. I don't know Mr. Dent from a pothole on Main Street, but I trust your family. If you believe in Dent, we believe in you. After all, whoever you support is a reflection on you.
And we trust someone like you to lead this city to greatness.
Well, I'm flattered, truly, but this night is about getting Harvey Dent elected so he can fix those potholes.
I think I speak for half the room when I say politicians are puppets.
Oh, come on now, Bob. I'm not a politician. I'm a crusader. No strings attached.
Old families like ours should flock together, you know, like birds.
You're preaching, dear.
No, it's true. The Waynes and Zellerbachs are reminders of the golden age of Gotham.
Oh, this city's luster faded years ago, Mr. Dent. Look at Gotham now. Murder in the streets, corruption in City Hall, that Cape Bat freak dealing out vigilante justice like it's the wild goddamn West.
Oh, Bobby, regarding Golden Age, seems you're getting cranky in yours. There's always hope.
Forgive me for being blunt, but one man can't save this city. And it's a dangerous mentality to think so. That's how you get creeps like this Batman.
Harvey Dent is our best shot. Put him in a room with anyone for 15 minutes and that grin will win him over.
He's gonna need more than that, son.
Oh, it hasn't been 15 minutes yet, Bob. We've still got time. Don't worry, though. I am not doing this alone. And with Bruce's help, we're replacing the dangerously unsecure Arkham Asylum with a state-of-the-art mental health facility to help Gotham's most at-risk individuals. It will be dedicated to Thomas and Martha Wayne, in the hopes that their fate will never be repeated.
After all your parents did for this city, oh, to be killed in a botched robbery in some alleyway, it was terrible. Truly terrible.
A tragedy like that at such a young age, it must have been crippling.
If only that deranged man had gotten the right treatment, maybe... well, I don't like to think about maybes. And I'm sure you don't either.
Well, Harvey is the one who's been behind the project since day one. A vote for him is a vote for the memory of my parents.
You'll have it.
Thank you. And thank you both. Not saying I doubted you, but that went better than expected.
It is a night of ringing endorsements.
Oh, well, hello. Harvey Dent, Gotham's next mayor, and eager to know you.
Vicky Vale. Not interested. And reporter for the Gotham Gazette.
This is a private fundraiser, Miss Vale. No reporters allowed.
Well, you don't mind if I stay and ask a few questions, do you, Mr. Wayne?
Well, you can ask me whatever you want at the press conference tomorrow.
Actually, I'm here for Mr. Wayne.
Tonight is strictly off the record. We can talk, but nothing gets written down.
I'm okay with that. I was just hoping to see what makes Bruce Wayne tick. This is quite the social event, Mr. Wayne.
Oh, come on now. It's so formal. Call me Bruce.
Well, Bruce, you've been going around pleasing everyone tonight. But how are you doing? You should enjoy your own party before all the champagne runs out.
Everyone loves the host. You're king for a day.
Just a day? I would have guessed Bruce Wayne has that feeling year-round.
Yeah, well, I take nights and weekends off.
Mr. Wayne, you've got something on your collar. Is that blood? Yeah. It looks like...
Oh, this? No, that's nothing. It just, cut myself shaving.
What, your butler didn't help you this time? Hey, kidding, kidding.
Do excuse me, Master Bruce, but another guest has arrived.
I'm sure they'll find the bar.
You may want to greet this one personally, sir.
Carmine Falcone? Is the Dent campaign soliciting votes from Gotham's biggest crime family?
Falcone's never been convicted of anything except being a businessman who loves this city. Excuse us, Miss Vale.
And what kind of business do you think he's in?
The one that controls enough votes to get me into City Hall. This is the necessary evil of politics, Bruce. It's in the service of a better Gotham, for all of us. Look, at least hear him out before you kick him out. Falcone requested to speak with you directly.
I don't like this, Harv, but I'm trusting you.
Thank you, Bruce. Seriously. You know I have to pull every string I can to get elected.
Yeah, well, just make sure this one doesn't hang you.
A word of warning, Bruce? Play nice.
You know, I've been in the market for a new house. Decent walk-up, sky-high ceilings, plenty of room for my cars. I think I'll take it. Though the decor offends my eyes. Oh, man, all flash, no class.
My family built this house. It's not for sale.
Everything's for sale, Mr. Wayne. And everyone. Just need to find the right currency. Carmine Falcone, thank you for welcoming me into your home. You're a respectable man, I hear.
Bruce Wayne.
I know who you are. The guy who's gonna sell me his house.
Gentlemen, perhaps we'll all be more comfortable in the parlor. Follow me, if you will.
You should know, Mr. Falcone, my analysts say we're raising triple what Mayor Hill has... Hey, what's...
Private audience.
Come on, guys. Bruce?
You'll be fine out there, Harvey. I saw plenty of skirts to keep you busy for a few minutes. Have a drink, have a talk.
Harvey stays with us.
A man's home is his castle. I respect that. Seen and not heard.
Whatever you...
What did I say? Mr. District Attorney here wants to make sure the rules are followed. But in my experience, there's the law, and there's doing what's right. You understand? And I'd rather see Harvey actually help this city instead of just saying he will.
Unlike most people I've met, Harvey actually has integrity. He's trying to make Gotham a better place.
So am I. So are you. Hey, we all carry this city on our broken backs. Might lighten the load if we do so together. I ain't here to chinwag about politics, Mr. Wayne. Gives me indigestion. I got enough of that as is. So, let's talk relationship. Chalk this for me. Be a pal. I can get Harvey the mayor's seat, or I can pull it out from under him. Whatever happened to being a gracious host? Okay, imagine, this is me. And these are all my friends in Gotham. The businesses, restaurants, clubs, docks, unions, politicians. I make them all move. And I want to keep everything moving if Harvey gets elected. That's why I came here tonight to your lovely home, hoping to make a new friend. One who can help Mr. Dent see the light, if need be. Between your businesses and mine, I bet we employ half the city. Now, we got a good thing going, so I don't see why we shouldn't team up.
Oh, I'm everyone's friend.
Which means you're really no one's. Pick a lane before you have a head-on collision. You listen to me, kid. I know somewhere inside that tuxedo you understand this situation. Money gets money. The risks, the alliances, the hidden costs. Your father knew which hands to shake. And which to break.
Whatever you say.
You're a good kid. You look like him, you know? It's nice that we understand each other.
Master Bruce, your guests are leaving. I recommend seeing them out. You wouldn't want to be rude.
Hey, I appreciate the hospitality, Mr. Wayne. But I don't think I'll put an offer on the house. A nice guy like you should have a nice place to live. I'll be seeing you, Bruce, while this city's still standing.
It's me.
Another brutal week in Gotham, folks. A string of home invasions rippled through the city's already crime-infested East End. Apparently, the bandits are using stolen GCPD battering rams to force their way in, with breaking and entering incidents up 40% over last year. Remember to keep those front doors locked tonight. And we have breaking news tonight. 5 criminals are in custody this evening after a break-in at City Hall. But thanks to the efforts of the Batman, the stolen items were returned.
Not all of them. Let's see what she was really after.
Allegations that Dent may have actually been involved in the break-in. Talk about dirty politics. Does Hill's campaign really think these accusations hold any water with the voters? Or will it be perceived as a desperate attempt from a flailing campaign to take down one of Gotham's most promising young politicians?
And in other news, we are now on day 3 of the factory fire that will not end. Crews have given up trying to combat the blaze at the Otisburg Processing Center, owned by Ace Chemical. Still no word on what started the fire, but whatever's burning in there has resisted everything the fire department has thrown at it. They're recommending people avoid the area and seek immediate treatment if you happen to breathe in any of that tar black smoke.
And one mobster's murder caused quite a headache for commuters this morning. The body of Falcone family capo Louis Pistachio Garmone was found hanging off the side of the 4th Street Bridge sometime just before dawn, causing traffic to back up for miles as the cops cut him down. Random stabbings are the latest headache for the riders of Gotham's overcrowded Skyrail cars to contend with. Gotham police are investigating multiple cases of riders receiving abdominal wounds from an ice pick or other pointed weapon while pressed into the tight quarters with fellow passengers. A few have died, while most have been admitted to Gotham General in critical condition. The police don't have any suspects at the time. 2 more patients have gone missing from Arkham Asylum, bringing the total number of escapees from the half-prison, half-mental hospital to 15 this year. Only 3 have been caught to date, but all the escapees highlight the rough, some would say inhumane conditions at the aging asylum. The latest, 44-year-old twin brother and sister Leon and Valerie Muldoon, should be considered dangerous if found. Authorities are asking that you do not approach and call police immediately. Mayor Hill's Gotham Beautiful Act takes effect today, making it possible for landlords to evict tenants immediately and without cause. The new law was created in order to allow Gotham City's biggest property owners greater ability to modify and improve the city's aging buildings, some of which have been occupied by families for decades. So if you come home from work tonight and find all your stuff on the street, don't worry. It probably isn't anything you did wrong.
And if you can believe it, now you can't even trust the valets. More on this after the break.
Mayor Hill says he's tough on crime, but since his election, violence in Gotham has skyrocketed. And when he was presented with legislation that would have dismantled organized crime in the city, he vetoed it, killing Gotham's chance for a safer future. Maybe that's because the rumors of Hill's connections to some of Gotham's most notorious mafia families aren't true.
The Bat computer should be able to read whatever data is on that stolen drive.
A crime-fighting hero. With over 200 successful convictions, District Attorney Harvey Dent just might be the hero Gotham needs. But he can't save our city alone. He needs you.
Nearly fell off a building for this?
We can make a dent in Gotham's crime, but it starts with you. Vote for Harvey Dent and elect a real crime fighter to Gotham's mayoral seat.
I'm Harvey Dent, and I approve this message.
Talk about dirty politics. Does Hill's campaign...
Let's find out what was so important.
accusations hold any water with the voters? Or will it be perceived as...
Encrypted.
Wayne Manor has 7 bedrooms, 2 kitchens, a library, a gymnasium, a basketball court, and a movie theater. And yet I always find you here, in a dark, damp cave, in front of a computer.
I'm more at home here than the rest of the house, you know that.
Then we should build an 8th bedroom down here.
Sure, I can see the headlines now. Bruce Wayne, billionaire, entrepreneur, cave dweller.
Quite an eclectic resume. Did you find out what that, Catwoman tried to steal?
Well, in the process.
What are we looking at?
Let me try a different angle. This is a map of the East Side shoreline. But it could mean any number of things. Money, weapons, drugs, everything flows through that port.
Maybe it's where Mayor Hill picks up his dry cleaning.
Can't make sense of it yet. There's still plenty of files to decrypt.
And in the meantime, I saved you what I could.
Thanks, Al.
Yeah, the same couldn't be said for the bar. I had to literally pry Mrs. Zellerback away. But you'll be pleased to hear everyone has left, including Mr. Falcone. I would have been tempted to be far less polite. I'd recommend leaving the fistfights to your alter ego. Bloodstains are much harder to remove from a tuxedo.
It was a keep your enemies closer situation.
Hopefully not close enough to stab you in the back. For the record, your father despised men like Falcone, thought they ruined Gotham's stellar reputation.
Back when it still had one?
It can again, Bruce. Though people like this Catwoman aren't helping. Is she new to town?
Never seen her before. Hopefully, she's just a tourist. No, I already checked the codex.
Not much to find, apparently.
Few burglaries, break-ins. Seems to lay pretty low.
You could learn a thing or two from her. You can't step outside without it ending up in the news lately. As Bruce or Batman.
I stay out of sight when I need to.
Define need to.
Whenever Harvey calls. That guy's exhausting.
Well, after the press conference tomorrow, I'll mark your calendar as exhausted then. The media isn't good for anyone's health. I don't mean to beat a dead argument, but...
No one's gonna figure it out now. Trust me.
Miss Vale noticed your injuries, so did Mr. Dent. If they put it together with the incident at the mayor's office, it would undo all the long nights and close calls we've endured to get here. You're in the spotlight more than ever. You have to be careful.
You're right. I should have canceled the event.
But I know how much pressure you're under. I don't mean to add to it.
It's okay. I know you're only looking out for me.
If we make a suit that fits me, we can trade places some night, though I'm not partial to heights. Old men worry, that's all. It's our gift and our curse. One more worry for the list.
I thought I saw Oz. It's been, what, 20 years? Last time I saw him, we were in grade school.
Indeed, you two were thick as thieves. Oswald, however, took that role more literally than you.
Dishonorable discharge, illegal boxing matches, arms dealing, prison stints?
That's a criminal grand slam, if I'm using the expression correctly.
Unfortunately, you are.
Oswald claimed he only wanted to catch up, but his behavior following his family's collapse is troubling. Why he's returning now, I haven't the faintest idea.
Do you think he might know something about the break-in? This Catwoman shows up around the same time Oswald comes back to town. Might not be a coincidence.
Oswald's crimes, numerous they may be, are on a much smaller scale than robbing City Hall.
Well, he was always trouble growing up, but he's the fun kind of trouble.
You both were. Even though you and young Master Cobblepot used to be close, I'd advise you to be cautious. But I know you can't abandon a good mystery until it's solved.
I'll be careful, Alfred.
When you see what's become of his park, I think you will.
Where are you, Oz?
Thank you, sir.
Great. There's the statue, but no Oz. Hey.
Beat it.
Watch, wallet, cash. But this goes through you. Hey, you heard it, man. The hell are you waiting for?
You're making a mistake.
You already made one coming here. The next one kills you. And him.
Gentlemen!
Oz.
Keep walking, all right? This don't concern you, twerp!
You see, that's where you're mistaken. My old mate and I have some catching up to do. And you're ruining the moment! Come here! Think that'll do? Stay down! This used to be a nice place. Lowlifes like you don't belong. This is my park! Mine! You hear that? Oh, hey, Bruce. You've got a little, Yeah, good as new. Woo! That was a right little scrap, eh? Nothing kickstarts the system like a dash of adrenaline, eh?
Well, thanks for the backup.
I yanked you away from your bloody ivory tower, Bruce. Least I can do is make sure you don't get shanked.
Oh, that's very thoughtful of you.
It's been what? 2 decades?
And you know what? I haven't been mugged once that entire time.
That wasn't why I brought you here, mate. Right now, I am trying to recognize the little Bruce I used to run around this place with. Back when it wasn't, you know, like this. This park used to mean something. A place that was safe for kids, for families. People came from all over to visit. Oh, Mum and Dad, they put so much work in here.
Well, those were better days.
That they were. Yeah. Thought we'd grow up to be kings, I did. Both of us. This city chews right through people. Mum committed to Arkham. Dad ended it himself, he did. My family's fortune. There's nothing left, Bruce.
I know. Alfred told me.
It's funny, huh? Same place that ground my family to dust. Gave you the good life. Used to run in the same circles we did. Hobnobbing parties, round-the-world vacations, unlimited potential.
My parents are gone too, Oz.
I know, Bruce, I know. I'm sorry for it. But I had my own funerals to attend. Good to know you haven't changed, Bruce. You still care about something more than just yourself. Although, I was surprised to see Carmine Falcone at your party last night. Made himself right at home. That oily...
Falcone was an uninvited guest. That's it. Never want to see his face again.
On that, we can agree in earnest. Falcone made a stack of cash and corpses a mile high, ruining families like mine. All he needs is a little push. And... it'd be a treat to watch him hit pavement. Sorry, mate. This reunion got a lot more grim than I planned. Things are gonna be on the upswing soon, though. A revolution is knocking on Gotham's door. And I'm here to let it in. Which brings me to you, Bruce. You see, you throw a rock in any direction, you break a window that Wayne Enterprises owns. As the rich and powerful go, oh, you top Gotham's list. But when my revolution starts, we're gonna smash windows and cross off names all the way down. Like I said, it's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be beautiful.
I'm not your enemy, Oz.
That remains to be seen, don't it? I've got great affection for you, Bruce. I really do. Which is why I'm warning you. When this whole thing starts, make sure you're on the right side. Good seeing you, Bruce, but I got some rocks to collect. Cheers. Mr. Wayne, over here, right here.
This way.
Bruce!
Good morning, everyone. Morning, Mr. Dent.
Hey, Bruce, you mind if we swap cars? I mean, mine isn't fast and the paint's rusting off, but boy, does she have charm. We didn't bring you all out here to discuss cars, honestly. Now, we're here about Arkham Asylum. Ever since it opened its doors, Arkham has been a breeding ground for the criminally insane. Its methods for rehabilitation, crude. Its security, lacking. And worse still, those who do get out, or God forbid escape, are even more dangerous than before they went in. Arkham Asylum is a cancer on Gotham. But today, with a sizable contribution from this man here, we break ground on a state-of-the-art mental health care facility. One that will improve the well-being of Gotham and its citizens for years to come. Now, Mr. Wayne has a few words he'd like to say. Bruce?
My parents loved Gotham. They invested their blood, sweat, and tears in this city. You know, when I was 9 years old, my parents took me to see a movie about a hero in a mask. It was a hero who stood up to oppression and defended the people from injustice, no matter the cost. That night, my parents paid the ultimate cost defending me from a man who needed the kind of help this new facility will provide. With this facility and our next mayor, we can put a dent in crime.
Today, on the anniversary of that fateful night, we dedicate this facility to Thomas and Martha Wayne and usher in a new era of healing for Gotham.
I'm sure you all have plenty of questions about the new hospital, so let's open it up. You first, Miss Vale.
Thank you. With the opening of this new hospital, what does this mean for Arkham Asylum? What happens to the old building?
I think Arkham has only done harm to Gotham. It's made criminals more unstable, put our citizens in jeopardy. We can do better. All right, who's up next? You there.
Mr. Wayne, Julia Remark of the Tribune. My sources say you welcomed alleged mob boss Carmine Falcone into your home. You even shook his hand.
I don't make friends with gangsters. He was an unwelcome guest. That's all. Next question, please.
Please keep your questions on topic, people. We're here about the hospital, remember?
But Mr. Wayne, this morning the Globe received evidence of an offshore bank account managed by Carmine Falcone and your father, Thomas Wayne.
What exactly are you implying?
Transactions connected to organized crime going back years and continuing to this day. The paper trail ties your family directly to the mob. Care to comment?
And did anyone else receive this evidence?
The Globe, the Gazette, we all did. Mr. Wayne, is all your money dirty?
Is the Wayne family legacy built on lies?
Did you know about this, Bruce?
How long has your family been dealing with Falcone?
Could the allegations be true?
What aren't you telling us?
Does the mob sign Wayne Enterprises paychecks?
I think you should check your source. Sounds to me like an intern is finally putting their creative writing minor to good use.
Mr. Wayne!
How long has your family been dealing with Falcone?
Could the allegations be true?
Did you know about this, Bruce?
What aren't you telling us?
I'm sorry about this, Bruce. I don't know where the hell it's coming from. Damage control's my territory. We'll talk later.
Everyone, please, settle down. I'll be fielding your questions from here on out. Please, let's try to keep this civilized.
Bruce, I've been trying to reach you. The police are inside the manor.
Yeah, I really enjoyed playing that. I think, again, it's testament to the story writing and storytelling that Telltale were capable of that. Something that I'm not that into in terms of Batman and the whole DC universe. It pulled me in pretty quickly, and I started to sort of care about those characters relatively sort of rapidly. I mean, I'm familiar with the whole Batman story, that sort of thing, but yeah, it's very good, and again, it just bears out what great storytellers Telltale were. So, in terms of what's happened with Telltale, I can't sort of particularly comment on the specifics of what's happened with them, but I've been working in the industry for 25 years and I've been made redundant 5 or 6 times now, and it's an unusual thing because from the UK perspective, employees are certainly once you've been employed for over 2 years, you're very well protected by the government, and also I've been lucky enough that a lot of the employers who I've worked for have made sure that when I was let go, that I was paid either up to the end of that month, or there was a redundancy payment, and in fact the government here in the UK ensures that everybody gets a statutory amount of redundancy pay if they've been employed over 2 years. And I can see how people are quite down about how the studio management have handled it, but as someone who's actually ran a studio and has been in a position where we've shuttered our studio, I mean, we did it in a way which was pretty clean, but you know, you have those concerns once you've made that decision. You have those concerns as to sort of how do we do this in as clean a way as possible. And again, I can't comment on the particulars of how they've done it, and I'm sure that will all come out in the wash eventually. But there are a lot of loose ends to tie up, and if you've got a lot of creditors or dependencies, you know, you may not have any time or money to be able to make what would be a good decision. You know, and I mean, you'd like to think that a larger organisation would be set up to sort of make it as painless as possible, but you know, sometimes that's just not possible. That's just not going to happen. Time and finances work against you, and that can put you in an almost impossible position. Of course, your sympathies lie overwhelmingly with the dev team. You know, they're the ones who put in the graft, and they're the ones that make the project happen. But yeah, as I say, without knowing exactly what the situation came to pass was that resulted in Telltale's almost immediate closure. It's difficult to start looking at them and going, well, they're the bad guy. You know, especially in the sort of the US labour market, which strikes me as quite brutal in the way that it seems very weighted towards the employer over the employee. You can only hope that what comes out of the wash is that the reasons that it was done were sort of the best of a terrible situation. I mean, the stuff that's coming out through Twitter and the press doesn't paint a particularly positive light about what actually happened, but you know, as outsiders, you can only really kind of guess as to what's gone on. And I mean, I know there's been reports in the past about sort of the culture at Telltale, and obviously there was earlier redundancies, which I think most people assumed were just a kind of painful page that allowed them to sort of reorganise and regroup, and sort of focus on sort of things they do best, but in a much more sort of reduced capacity. As I say, I've been through it a number of times myself from both sides, and you know, the atmosphere is awful afterwards, and actually, you know, for the people who are left behind, you kind of, sure, you're sort of still working, but for a good while you kind of you're kind of left feeling sort of survivor's guilt almost, and I think certainly with the guys who were left there, because there are so few left, I'm sure, you know, they realise that they're only going to be there for a limited amount of time, and really all they're doing is helping sort of make the best out of a bad situation. Right, I'm going to leave it at that. I don't really want to get into sort of particularly controversial areas. It's something I'm more than willing to do over a pint with people, but it's not in this sort of forum. You don't really want to hear me foisting my sort of opinions. I just try to keep it to sort of general sort of thoughts and experiences. But what I'm going to do is, at the end of this sequence, I'll run the credits for Batman, to show the names of the people who worked, and I'm sure some of them have left before this recent unpleasantness, but I just thought it would be a nice way to sort of finish off this video, was to sort of leave the names of the people who've worked for Telltale on screen, so that, you know, should you want to, you can have a look through them. And yeah, so that's it for this. We'll be back at another time with a new stream. We've got some exciting stuff coming up in the near future, which I'll mention on the social media platforms when it's all sorted. So yeah, thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll leave you at the credit sequence.